Coming up right now, no good deed goes unpunished. Imagine falling 6 feet under for a loved one while trying to stay above ground.
Oh boy. Also coming up, what a crock.
What?
Wait until you hear what China is trying to sell this time around.
China. A little later on, there's a state in this United States that has come up with a bizarre idea in an effort to curb speeding.
Mitch, you're not allowed.
I know. I think I would be very afraid.
Super speeder.
I'm a super speeder.
Daily Flash
Literally.
starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
She sure is. I am Mitch English. Kids, last time I checked, this is Daily Flash.
Yes, sir.
Right, Braden? Yell something, Braden, right now. That's what I want to hear. To my right is my right-hand man. That is Matt Doolittle.
I don't know if I want to be your right hand. I don't.
Well, if you're not right, what's left?
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow, that's...
You know what is left? You can go to dailyflashshow.com.
Nice.
You can find out there and vote for us to be a part of the tellies. Let us win the people's champs. That's what we want to be. So go on there. There's a link there. You can also send us feedback at flash@dailyflashshow.com.
Will, our camera 2 operator, and I, we were in a knitting class, and we've always said that exact same phrase. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
We are the people's show.
We are the people's show.
He's a great knitter, too.
He is. I would imagine that. Tea cozies, right?
Tea cozies, that's what we're
cozies.
gonna
I
get
love
you
that.
one, don't worry.
Can I get a beer cozy?
You're going to get a beer cozy, and we're going to make pasties
With
for
your
you.
initials.
Pasties,
Oh,
too.
my.
Really? Knitted pasties?
Well, we are in Castleberry.
That was my nickname back in high school, knitted pasties. Here comes knitted pasties.
Those would, I would imagine, be tough to stay on.
They
Because of the
chafe.
yarn.
You know, surprisingly, no, they
No,
hold up. Even
really?
with sweat and glitter.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
This is why we're the people's
This is why we are
choice.
the people's choice. Okay, anyone watch the Masters?
Yes.
That's the golf,
I
right?
cried.
Yes.
I cried.
I did too.
I cried.
I did too, Matt. I was crying. Rory McIlroy
Yep.
finally won.
Can I say something? Doesn't
Yes.
his name sound like when you're trying to start up an old car?
Yes, Rory McIlroy. Yes, and you kind of have to say it a few
I like
times,
that guy.
or else it sounds as though you're like stumbling through the
Okay.
words. So the Masters has this phenomenal policy: no cell phones
Yes.
are allowed. And it has gotten so much attention this year round, and it's been in place for several years. But for whatever reason, people are like, why don't more places do this? Because, and even the people who are there saying, it's great. People are engaged. They're talking to one another. When Rory had that moment when he finally won, like everyone is watching.
He brought it up in
Everyone's-
his press conference.
Yeah, everyone's a part of it. And it makes, instead of people standing there with their phones recording video that they'll never watch again.
Nope.
He's saying this is great because people are actually experiencing the moment.
I can appreciate that. And I think if we follow that into our lives too, and it's much like, I refer everything back to vinyl of
Yes.
records, is that we went and made this incredible sound digitally. There's
Yeah.
something missing.
Yes.
People are going back to vinyl now because it's the rawness, and it's real. And I think a lot of things that are just too much of it, finally people just kind of
Yes.
expunge themselves and realize, wow, this is great.
It's great because it's an outdoor event. And the funny thing is at the Masters, they have these outdoor phone banks. So if you need to make a phone call, you can go to what looks like an old-fashioned phone booth and you can pick up the phone and call a loved one, so if that's necessary. But they are not allowed whatsoever.
Good.
And I've been to a few shows, Dave Chappelle, Joe Rogan, where you had to check your phone into one of those pouches. Chris Rock, I think, too. And it was the best experience because you are engaged 100%.
When my radio show, when we won the Academy Country Music Award thing, we had to go in and do the exact thing. So you imagine an arena filled with nobody with their cameras, and what undertaking that was in the first place. So it makes a lot of sense, and I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
We feel that we're dependent on that the phone has to go everywhere, and then when you're not, you open up your eyes because you're
Yes.
not doing this anymore. You're like looking around and checking it out. There's a great feeling that comes with it.
Well, I just have to laugh at the people that take videos at concerts and shows. It's like, when are you ever going to watch that again?
And
Never.
Guess how that's going to sound? You're not going to get to hear it at all. And it's because the FOMO, you want everybody to see where you're at. Take a picture
Yes.
outside, walk in, wear a
take-
t-shirt. Really, you get a t-shirt.
I generally will take one picture and then put it away, and then like when we went and saw Billy Joel, I took like one quick
Oh.
video, and then that was the end of it.
And I did.
Yeah, you
I
did.
was the guy with
You
it.
were
But
that guy.
I was not doing that the whole time.
You
I
were
was
that
with
guy.
my buddies, and we were watching Billy Joel, and it was fun. from what I remember.
So I'm hoping that more and more events will start following.
let's do it.
Yeah.
You know how strict Augusta is. Like,
Yes.
when I worked for Golf Channel for a little bit,
Yep.
one of the reporters stepped out of the media booth, opened his phone, and they kicked him out.
Yep, as they should. Yeah, I love it.
I'm all for it.
I love it.
I'm all for it. Take it to the grave. And somebody did just that out of Philadelphia. Y'all got to see this. Funeral takes a strange turn as the ground caves in while pallbearers were lowering their loved one into the ground. We got video of it.
Oh, my
It shows the
goodness.
mourners suddenly screaming as the platform just surrounding the hole collapse underneath them.
good
Several men fall into the hole with the casket, but thankfully no one else was seriously hurt. The grieving family puts the blame on the cemetery and the funeral home for not securing a burial plot. Poor guy, he's going to remember what happened after he died. But I want this to happen in my...
He
Can
pulled,
somebody
the
arrange
the
this?
greatest prank on his friends.
That's what that's the first thing I thought.
like, he did that on purpose.
Yeah.
He pulled that. Yep.
I would love for something like that to happen. Like that, still, I guess the poor family, but they'll have something to talk about. Let's hope that guy that had passed actually had a good sense of humor, and people can understand that. I'm sure there's some things that can come out.
I'm hoping so. Did you hear about the guy that got buried in the Snickers bar casket?
Oh my God, no!
It
tell me.
was over in the UK, I believe, but he was such a huge fan of Snickers. His whole goal was like, when I die, I want you to bury me in a casket that looks like a Snickers
Okay.
bar. And sure enough, I'll find it for you because it is hilarious.
So he did die and
He
they
did
did it?
die, and they showed the casket, and it looks like a legit Snickers bar.
What is their slogan right now? It's something about don't get. It's like when you're all upset, and if you eat a Snickers bar, it's supposed to make you feel. Say it
You're
again?
not you when you're
not
hungry.
you when you're hungry.
Yeah, or when you're dead.
Can I just be put in a big Air Jordan box then?
Yes, they should give you one, a big cardboard
We
one.
should do that, like the most unusual caskets that people get buried in, because there's.
I always loved the Kiss ones.
The Kiss one, Pringles guy.
The Pringles guy, yes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Pringles
Yeah.
fan. No, he really was.
China is full of crock. China. With
China.
its latest attempt at selling a live lot of goods from a bankrupt company up for sale. 500 live crocodiles. The starting bid, $500,000. 2 previous auctions for the croc lot received no bites. Maybe the third time will be the charm.
Get your things.
Anyone interested in purchasing the hundreds of reptiles at wholesale prices must cover the cost of capturing, transporting, and shipping. Crocodiles are a top commodity in China and are used in more than 100 products from makeup to wine.
Really?
In China.
I did not know that. That's
Right.
a lot of 5-year-old kids making that wine, I guess, right? over there?
Hear me out. We pool our money together. We call Savannah, our friend from Gatorland.
Gatorland.
She can do the wrangling, and these 3 can go up there and they can get them together, and we put them out back in the pond.
So now,
Start our own Gatorland.
well, what we
Crocland.
learned from her, like crocs and alligators don't get along.
along.
They don't get along, but it'd be cool.
No,
But
no
they would
doubt
be-
about it. It'd be cool.
But they'd be an invasive species in Florida because they're
And
really not supposed to be.
There's a
there.
Florida
Hold on a
crocodile.
second.
Well,
You
the
guys-
China crocs, so they're kind of
China.
they're cheaper.
You guys,
Yeah.
the tariffs on this thing would be crazy.
And,
So do
and
you really
they,
want
they,
Please
they're
don't
gonna
go
have that
down the
weird
tariff
smell,
avenue.
like when you get something from over there. Yeah.
China.
China. All right, a Pennsylvania town. They're painting curved lines on a residential street. Why? All in hopes to curb reckless driving, believe it or
Okay.
not. Montgomery Township, it's outside of Philly, has new curvy lines, complete with curb extensions
front
in
door.
some of their roadways. This is real. It's not the drunk striping guy is not at fault here. Locals say they don't understand how local lawmakers came to the conclusion that this was a good idea. Many residents say they're ignoring the patterns because they're worried police might think, well, they're driving drunk.
yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're following the lines, right? The township was forced to clarify what they did. In fact, make that decision to add curvy lines. I can kind of get it. It's annoying because of my, I don't think I have OCD forever, but I like symmetry.
Yes.
This would drive me crazy.
Yes.
In Oklahoma, see the white lines they have over there?
Yeah.
I would drive along and they put those like crazy squiggly lines.
Really?
And I couldn't figure out why, but they're always in front of schools. And but I notice them.
Oh, yeah.
So that tells me, okay. And once I figured it out, and I even asked a few people that grew up in Oklahoma, and
Yeah.
they go, I don't know why they're there. I don't know what they are.
Interesting.
Because nobody put 2 and 2 together. I figured it out.
That's why.
And it does subconsciously, I do slow down. It makes me think, okay, this is a school zone, so I need to slow
Maybe
down.
we need those in my neighborhood. We have a lot of wildlife in my neighborhood: deer, bobcat, bear, peacocks, and we've got those giant speed bumps. But that still doesn't deter people. They drive like maniacs.
And if you're on a motorcycle, I always try to find the crease
Yeah.
that you go through so I don't have to go over
Exactly.
that. And they'll do it no matter what. And here's the thing: if it's working, let's see. If not, they can paint over it, I guess.
But if you do drive straight, do the cops pull you over for not following
good
it?
question.
Or are they now like, oh, you're not swerving, but you're also not following the traffic pattern?
I would
Like,
drive straight. I
Yeah.
do that on long
Yes.
trips. Like if there's a big road
Yeah.
and there's nobody behind me, I'll just drive straight
Straight.
just to break the rules.
Now let's throw a roundabout in here and see
That
how
would be
things,
fun.
Oh, geez.
see how things work out for these drivers.
I like
Because
that.
roundabouts throw people in the craziest
It breaks my brain.
meltdown. It does break your
there's
brain.
There's a spot out like kind of northern part of Orlando where they're
Yeah.
all over the place, and it breaks my brain to do those things.
But
they're
you
great,
slow
though.
down
They
and you're
do.
conscious of it. So think about that.
Very
Is it
true.
working there? We're going to do some screen chatter. Coming up, surreal estate. Tony Toscano is talking about that when we return. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. This is really inspirational to all of us. Born with spinal bifida, 17-year-old Charlie Cooper is currently U.S. and Australian Open boys wheelchair tennis champion. He now joins us from his home in Palm Springs, California. Tell us a little bit about his story and his great things. Charlie, welcome to the show. Congratulations on your recent Grand Slam singles titles. That's amazing.
Hi, it's awesome to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Just looking over, just seeing what you've already accomplished, as I said, very inspirational. I want to start back a little bit about your tennis career. Tell us how it all started.
Yeah, so growing up, I never played tennis, never really played sports, walking with leg braces my whole life. It wasn't until I found a kid at a guitar shop with spina bifida, which is the same disability I was born with, and he told me and my mom about a winter tennis clinic here at the Indian Wells Tennis Garden, 2 minutes from my house, and I gave it a shot one Friday. Kept going from there with the same coach I have now, named Coach Dwayne. And I had to learn how to push a chair, learn how to hit a tennis ball. It was all new for me, but
Wow.
this was the dream that I found, and it helps me play professional sports as I didn't think I could before.
Again, very inspirational. For those that are not familiar with spinal bifida is, can you explain a little bit what it is?
Yeah, spina bifida is a birth defect in the spine. It's very common, especially in adaptive sports. You see many kids with spina bifida, and for me, the doctors told me I wouldn't be able to walk as, below my knees, I couldn't feel
Wow.
anything and there wasn't too much muscle growth. And it was a miracle 2 years later, I was able to walk with leg braces. And, many kids around the world aren't able to walk with this disability, and it comes in all different forms. So I think that's what's special, and anyone can play sports.
I want to say that. It was the sports that actually kind of give you a drive to like, listen, I might have this, but it's not going to slow me down.
Yeah, before, I was in my room a lot. I was kind of couldn't find my identity. I didn't know what to do with my life. I wanted to be an NBA player. I wanted to be an NFL player,
Yeah.
but it wasn't possible. So now finding wheelchair tennis, I'm able to compete at the US Open, Australian Open, and it's just a dream, even for my parents, not knowing what I was going to do when I was going to grow up. So now I think that God's given me this gift, and now it's my turn to shine it and help others who don't know what that is. Maybe they could find in wheelchair tennis.
I love that. Yeah, that you found, and we all have our own handicap if you think about it. And it's just actually going out and discovering, which looks like what you are doing. You didn't just sit around and go, well, woe is me. What have you learned from your experience with wheelchair tennis?
Yeah, I mean, I love that you said that because most kids around the world say, why me? Why do I have this? And for me, I thought that a few times. And once I found tennis and went through all these stages in my life and helped me learn, it was more, I'm happy to be me. I'm happy to have this disability, and it's more of an ability now to inspire others. And that's
Yeah.
what I found. I just not just be an average, regular kid in high school anymore. I'm a, tennis player, and I found that through a disability.
I love that, and it is inspirational because you think about some athletes, they're born with that talent, and a lot of people that maybe might feel that they can't do something don't know until they try. And I love that you've not only tried, but you actually are doing really well at it. You're currently attending ICL Academy. What is ICL Academy? Tell me all about that.
Yeah, so recently this last year, I started attending ICL, which is an online private school for, many athletes or, kids with talents who want to discover their dream. And it's helped me so much as I travel, almost every week through the year. So going in person in school in my last private school, it was very hard to keep up. So it empowers me to find my dreams and keep working on the road. And also the ICL Foundation supports, athletes like me and other, students, attend the school and,
Uh-huh.
talk to tennis pros like the best in the world, like Tommy has, and, more like Novak Djokovic. So it's amazing being around that, and they really center around your sport or dream, and that's what makes the school really special.
This might sound like a, I don't know, just a way out there question, but what was the hardest thing to actually overcome as you get there on that tennis court? I would imagine movement. What was one thing you're like, you know what, or maybe even something that you're still working on? What's something that you did not really think? I mean, obviously, overall, it would be a little bit more difficult, but is there one thing about this wheelchair tennis that is like, that's your stronghold that you have to really overcome?
Yeah. Definitely the mental pressure part, being
Okay.
a young kid, moving up in the men's division. I'm winning a few junior Grand Slams. I'm already. I really want it now. I want to be the best now. But once you get a few losses under your belt, it's really hard, and you have to work through it and understand that there's a bigger picture in the end, and God has a plan for you. And that's what really I have to learn now is I want everything so fast being young. So understanding that's going to take a few, and you can make mistakes is what the hardest part for me is.
Listening to you say this, because if you think about it, really the response I thought I was going to get was like, well, it's kind of hard, moving around the physical stuff. It wasn't even the physical stuff that's saying. It's all about the mental, and I think that is what we
Right.
can get from you is that, like, you know what, we can overcome anything. It's our mind that slows us down from that. I love that. That's very inspirational. You got some other great advice for young people, maybe anybody dealing with any kind of disability?
Yeah. I'd say, this is a gift. Disability does not have to be something holding you back. Although you might seem different than others, or you might want something that others have. There's a reason for everything that you have.
Yeah.
Everything. Maybe you can't walk. Maybe you can't do something that other people can. But there's a reason for that. And I feel like it's a greater opportunity because without disability, I wouldn't be here now. Helping others and finding success on a Grand Slam level, talking to Roger Federer. It's just so many
Wow.
opportunities available and they're waiting for you. And so I think just go out there, find a sport, find your local organization, and or you could reach out to me and could get started on wheelchair tennis. And it's a wonderful journey, but that's my inspiration for those.
Charlie, I'm a little upset with you because now I have to actually go out and do stuff. You've inspired me, man, and inspired many others. There's no reason to slow back. Thank you so much for joining us. You're very inspirational. Quickly,
Thank
any
you.
tournaments you got coming up?
Yeah, so currently coming up in Houston next month, a few men's tournaments, and I'm really leading up to Roland Garros and playing the junior division for the first time, and hope I could go 3 for 3 there. That'd be my dream.
Well, you got us in your corner. Charlie, thank you so much. You can follow Charlie on
Thank
social
you.
media. You can check him out at Charlie J. Coop. And, of course, check out the ICL Foundation at the ICLFoundation.org. We'll have these links, this interview as well, on our website at dailyflashshow.com. Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. It's Thursday. That means it's time for us to check in with Tony Toscano to find out what's coming out of Hollywood and straight to your screen, no matter what side you're going to watch it on. With the latest, here's Tony.
Thanks, Mitch. Entering its third season on Sci-Fi is the supernatural series Surreal Estate.
We are specialists in metaphysically engaged properties. Homes that have unique barriers to sell.
I'm gonna go through right now and make some notes on staging while my associate takes some readings.
What kind of readings?
Oh dear.
In the series, real estate agent Luke Roman and his team specialize in selling haunted houses. The series stars Tim Rosen and Sarah Levy.
Well, that's the cool thing is that I think some people at first are like, oh, I don't like scary shows. I don't want to watch a scary show. And other people's like, I want to watch a scary show. That's what they want to go for. But I think anybody who sticks around and watches it realize that there's a lot of heart and warmth and drama and funny that the show has. We get to do it all. It's just a roller coaster of fun as an actor, a professional, and as a character.
It's not scary enough that if you don't like horror movies, which I don't love horror movies because I get too scared, it's palatable for that. It kind of gives the fun element of horror without it just being so intensely scary and real.
Surreal Estate is a well-acted, fun, and thrilling show to watch. Again, you can check it out on sci-fi.com. It gets a B and is rated TV-14. Continuing with our look at the supernatural, over on Prime Video is the supernatural series, The Bondsman.
Did you die?
Male enforcement, come out with your hands up.
Yeah, I think maybe I did.
In the series, a bounty hunter is resurrected and continues his job. This time, he's working for the devil. I chatted with Beth Grant and Jolene Purdy.
Oh, I have said that it is the kitchen sink cookie that has blood, gore, humor, family, country music, just these one-liners that pop out of nowhere, and these amazing deaths and destruction and supernatural. And then what really like binds it all together, that butter of that cookie, is the heart. So what I want them to take is the basis of what all of this is: the heart, the love, the family, the things that are truly, truly important in life.
Yeah.
Beth, I'm giving you the last word. What do you think audiences will take away?
I think I agree with her. I think we three mama bears and our children, it is very much about we'll do anything for our kids. And I think it's supporting Hub in his journey. And God knows I hope he doesn't get sent back to hell. And I want to know what he did to get sent there in the first place.
The Bondsman is a scary good time with enjoyable performances from Kevin Bacon and the cast. Again, you can check it out streaming on Prime Video. He gets a B and is not rated. For the Daily Flash, I'm film critic Tony Toscano.
Thank you there, Tony. Well, welcome to your Daily Digits.
Woo!
Yeah,
number me, baby.
Your first number today is the Royal 200, an extraordinary collection of I had to get out of the British accent.
I got you.
I was going to keep going. I was going to Miley Cyrus it. A collection of royal fashion and memorabilia is taking center stage at the Peninsula Beverly Hills, where Julian's Auction presents Princess Diana's Style and Royal Collection. Featuring over 200 pieces, the exhibit includes couture handbags and personal items once belonging to the iconic Princess Diana, Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen Mother, and the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Wow. Some dating back to the 19th century. The late Princess Diana is the crown jewel of the event, however, with her timeless and transformative style continuing to captivate collectors and museum patrons alike. Highlights include her carrying dress worn during hospital visits and a sleek cocktail dress symbolizing her independence after her royal divorce. Remember that one?
Yep.
The auction comes on the heels of a record-breaking sales like Diana's Jaquez Azari gown fetching $1.14 million and a pair of her shoes going for $390,000. Many of the pieces on display were originally part of Diana's own 1997 charity auction, showing both her sense of style and spirit of giving beyond fashion. The event also showcases handwritten notes and cards from Diana, offering a glimpse into her warmth and personal charm. The collection will embark on a mini world tour beginning May 1st, giving fans and fashion enthusiasts a rare chance to view and possibly own a piece of royal history. Your next number today is 60. Ladies and gents, the orcas are coming for us. In an extraordinary and rare display of nature's power, more than 60 orcas, I didn't even know there were that many around anymore, from five different family pods join forces to take down a blue whale off the coast of Australia. It's only the fourth documented case of such an attack, making it truly a historical moment. And these things have been happening. The orcas are coming for us, guys. Free Willy got out there on a DVD in the ocean, and they are coming for us. So watch your orcas.
You do about that, like they were knocking over boats, remember?
Taking out rudders.
They've had it.
The whales are
Because the killer whales, that's in their name.
Stick around. More Flash after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk.
You know, well, I say we have the best job in the world. We love it. We get to talk to you, get to talk about what's happening in the world. However, there's a woman, her name is Christine Christodoulou, and she probably has one of the coolest, actually, non-jobs in the world. She gets to cruise around the world absolutely free. Imagine being on a cruise ship 24 hours a day, all the time. And you're not a crew member, per se.
Okay.
Her husband is, though. And what she does, she takes advantage of the fact that she lives there. They gave her one rule. She has to follow all the same rules as as if you were an employee, 100%. You can't go into certain places and that sort of thing. But she said she absolutely loves it. She goes out she's with her husband, and now she'll do things like on TikTok as far as like cruising life and that sort of thing, like trips and stuff. And so the cruise line gets some really good stuff out of it as well. So she by way of her husband, she found out her perfect life and her perfect job, non-job.
Turned herself into an influencer.
Which
that's what the term is now.
All you need is a camera.
All you need is a little gimbal camera like I got, and you can be an influencer.
You need one of these.
I just don't like showing my life like that. No one wants to see me eating.
Who does that? No, there is a thing out of it. There's a whole thing on Netflix right now, but they're doing it in young kids. Have you seen that?
Yes.
And it gives you a good idea where kids are going, I'll just be an influencer when I get older. And the odds of them ever making it is even worse than going to Hollywood. Because you think about, first you got to move to Hollywood.
Yes.
And they got to find you. Well, you create your own, but so is everybody else in the world.
But when it comes to these kids, and I watched that documentary, it is terrifying to know that the majority of people who are watching those kid videos are men ages 20 to 75. That's who your audience is.
There's a couple Disney influencers, and one of them I won't mention who, but he puts his kids up there all the time.
I don't think that's
all
right.
the money you're making right now, enjoy paying that in therapy later on.
Yeah, but it's crazy when you find out that some of these kids were making $600,000 a day. And then you wonder where all this money has gone, because this one mom in this particular documentary is accused of, taking a huge part of this sum as a commission or a fee, for putting these kids out there.
Macaulay Culkin.
I think if you also look at it too, there's things that you have to learn as a kid, and work ethic is also one, and just and then not know. And I saw just the clip of it. If they don't know who their friends are, because their friends, if they hang out with them, then they could be on camera, and then they could possibly be famous, AKA Kim Kardashian. Same thing happened.
And that's the thing. That's the part of this story that's so intriguing, is that one girl starts out, and then the mom gets the idea that, let's bring in and create a squad of people. And then, of course, this team depends on each other to connect each other and cross-promote one another on YouTube. Yeah. And the fact that these kids want to be YouTube stars, it's like, at what point do people become the audience again? Because I feel like everyone is in front of the camera nowadays. Everyone's got a microphone. And a video.
What they also don't understand is security risks with that, because you're showing, and there's an AI program now where you plug in a picture, it will show you exactly where your house is, just on the corner, and they don't understand that people will show up and all of a sudden think they're your friends.
Metadata in the pictures, keep that in mind.
Very true.
All right.
A wild story out of Philadelphia. A funeral takes a strange turn as the ground caves in while pallbearers are lowering their loved ones into the ground. Video shows mourners suddenly scream as the platform surrounding the hole collapses underneath them. Several men fall into the hole with the casket, but thankfully no one was seriously hurt. That is shocking. The grieving family puts the blame on the cemetery and the funeral home for not securing the burial plot.
It's an everyday thing that they have to deal with, and it could just one person overlook something they were supposed to do, or didn't do it right, but it's memorable, I guess. Hopefully nobody got really hurt.
Remember that time Tom fell on us when he was dead?
Well, no, you want your squad, speaking of squad, you want them to hang out with you, but not when you're dead.
Talk about influencers. Influencing from the grave. One last hurrah before I go.
I kind of would love to have something. I'm not making light of it. The family, I'm sure,
You're
was
just gonna have whoopee cushions and stuff all over yours.
People have to be laughing about this. There was a guy with a camera right there, so
I can't believe no one was seriously hurt, because that's terrifying to think. Maybe they got a lot of rain. Maybe the ground was soft. Who knows?
6 feet. That's a big drop.
That's a big drop.
All right, we have got more Flash coming up around the corner. Stick around. We love having you with today's trends and tomorrow's talk.
Yeah, stay with us. We're back right after this. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson. We can all benefit from stress relief. That's where our wellness expert, Dr. Liza Boone, comes in with some simple ways to help manage everyday stress. Take it away, Liza.
Stress. It's a part of life. It would be nice if we could eliminate it completely, but realistically, the best we can shoot for is minimizing the impact of life quakes. Things like traffic jams, being late, and having to give a presentation like this. Sounds good, right? But how? Well, I have 3 easy things that help to reduce daily stress. First up, one thing I keep with me all the time is Rescue Remedy. This little yellow bottle has a blend of flower remedies that work with my body to balance energy so I can better manage stress and anxiousness. It helps to take the edge off naturally so I can take on my day with calm and clarity and still feel like myself. I put a few drops into my tea or my water bottle, and I also carry delicious rescue pastilles in my handbag. Because as a busy working mom of a teen, stress finds me pretty much everywhere these days. Next up is journaling. I keep this small gratitude journal with me, and each morning I take 2 to 3 minutes to jot down how I'm feeling, what I'm grateful for, and looking forward to that day. This helps me set the tone for my entire day. My third top routine is scheduled self-care. It's usually a good piece of dark chocolate waiting for me each night, but it can be anything. It doesn't have to be big or grand, but it's a non-negotiable part of my day. So finding small ways to decrease the impact of stress can really make a difference. Why? Because calm vibes today will lead to good vibes tomorrow.
All right, thank you there, Liza. Well, as the weather warms up, dogs spend more time outside, right? Dr. Natalie Marks joins us with Merck Animal Health to help protect your pet from respiratory disease.
Hi, thanks for having me. You know, respiratory disease season in dogs is really ramping up this time of year. It's peaking between Memorial Day and Labor Day and spikes in July. This might be a surprise for a lot of dog owners out there because for humans, respiratory disease season we really think about in the fall and winter. That's why it's so important to talk to your veterinarian now about your dog's risks and vaccination options so that we can keep them as safe and protected this season. There's diseases out there like canine influenza, canine parainfluenza, and Bordetella bronchiectasis that are easily spread through things like direct dog-to-dog contact, contaminated surfaces like toys and leashes and water bowls, and through secretions from dogs coughing and sneezing. And we see these diseases easily spread at places like daycares and kennels, but even outside on neighborhood walks. So if you're out there planning your spring break or summer travel and contemplating boarding your dog, or you're just getting outside more as the weather's getting nicer, really important to talk to your veterinarian about vaccination options so that we can avoid the spread of disease. And 2 preventative vaccines from Merck Animal Health that I really love and recommend are the Novivac Intratrac Oral BBPI and the Novivac Next Canine Flu H3N2. And for a couple reasons, I want to go over each of these a little bit more. So the oral BBPI, as you can imagine, has 2 components to it. BB for Bordetella bronchiectasis and PI for canine parainfluenza. These are the 2 most causative agents for a syndrome that most dog owners have heard of, which is kennel cough. So I love this vaccine because it's super comfortable. It's administered orally through this Immunomister applicator on the end of that syringe. We just gently miss the back of your dog's throat. It's a stress-free experience, can't miss coverage. The other is the Next Canine Flu H3N2, and this is a low-volume, preservative-free vaccine that provides optimum protection against the most common canine influenza virus in the U.S., which is H3N2, without compromising comfort or safety. So if you want to learn more about these 2 vaccines or just vaccination options in general, you can visit merckanimalhealth.com. And don't forget, it's also equally important to talk to your veterinarian about your dog's risks and vaccination options so we can keep them as protected as possible this season.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. Football joins forces to shine a spotlight on men's health. It is a bold move that is sure to transform conversations during Testicular Cancer Awareness Month.
Aprovechamos un espacio que ningún otro patrocinador quería para que en este caso una asociación que sí que le importaba ese espacio pudiera visibilizar su causa.
Easter kicks off the celebration of the spring season. Lifestyle editor Joanne Butler, fresh off of a shoulder injury, joins us with some of her favorite ideas to make entertaining easier this year. Hi, Joanne. I hope you're okay.
Hi, thanks for having me. Well, I'm all about doing whatever you can do to make entertaining easier. I'm a big catering person, especially now with my broken shoulder. But thank goodness Cracker Barrel is once again here to serve up a variety of options to make it super convenient and just giving us all more time to spend with family and friends and less time in the kitchen. Who doesn't love Cracker Barrel too? They have the most delicious things. And this Easter, they've brought back their popular Easter heat and serve meals with either spiral sliced sugar-cured ham or prime rib. These are easy-to-serve meals packaged with everything you need to serve 4 to 6 or 8 to 10 and go literally from oven to table in 3 hours or less. 3 options to choose from: the ham feast, the ham family dinner, or a prime rib family dinner with tender roasted prime rib au jus and horseradish sauce. Both family dinners serve 4 to 6. The best part, they include all the sides. So mashed potatoes with roasted gravy, country green beans, creamy mac and cheese, delicious baby carrots, sweet yeast rolls, even the butter on the side. And if you choose the ham feast, you'll get dessert too: an apple streusel and pecan pie. You can, of course, add any sides, drinks, and desserts you want. They have this seasonal strawberry peach lemonade that's super yummy and looks so pretty on the table. Pre-order now online at crackerbarrel.com/Easter. Pick it up starting April 17th through the 20th. Just make sure you place your order 24 hours in advance. And if you feel like getting out for Easter, you can do that too. Cracker Barrel's open during normal hours with a special preset meal: a sugar-cured ham, turkey with dressing and roasted gravy, cranberry relish, a choice of one country side. The hash brown casserole is just to die for, biscuits or corn muffins, and even a slice of pecan pie with ice cream for dessert. So whichever way you want to go, Cracker Barrel has got you covered. Now, next up, no holiday is ever complete for me without my Ferrero Rocher, my personal favorite premium chocolate, just known, of course, for their delicious creamy indulgence, but also for their iconic gold wrapping that just, elevates any occasion. I love these for decorating and using them as fantastic centerpieces. They also make great gifts, hostess gifts, or my kids just love these. And for Easter this year, they have some amazing limited edition goodies to make beautiful Easter baskets. All different options to choose from: 5 and 24-piece gift boxes, a special 13-piece bunny shape that's just super cute. These are their special Easter golden eggs that come in dark milk and white chocolate, and the collection's crispy eggs that come in hazelnut, caramel, and cocoa. They also have the hollow egg too, if you just like, hollow traditional chocolate. Remember, limited time only, so hop on over to Target, Walmart, Walgreens, Amazon, or CVS and get them while supplies last. You definitely don't want to miss these beauties. And there you have it. Happy Easter.
Sports commentator Stephen A. Smith is flirting with the idea of running for president. The ESPN host hinted that recent political events have opened his mind up to consider a run for office. Stephen A. said that he is leaving all options on the table. Smith admitted that he would need to be more fluent on issues involving foreign policy, but would have no problem speaking his mind on the debate stage. But the Oval Office salary might not be enough. Smith's new 5-year contract with ESPN is worth more than $100 million, making him one of the highest paid figures in sports media. The president's paycheck, around $400,000 a year.
That's not a whole lot, but you get a place to live and travel free and food and everything else.
That
you
is
get that in there
true.
as well. Stephen A. Smith, we have to get that A in there. Not sure what
Yes.
the A stands for. Some people say it's one thing. I don't think it's what they think. However, he is outspoken, and
yeah.
he will say what he feels. He was recently confronted by LeBron James. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, that was weird on the sidelines about his son.
Because he had mentioned his son playing and such. And he kind of, when I first watched his reaction to this, I kind of felt like he was apologizing. But then which he kind of did.
With LeBron James?
With LeBron James.
Yeah.
Like, look, he's talking about his son. I get that, whatever. And then he turned around and said, but the reason is you shouldn't be doing this, yada, yada, yada.
Yes.
And I appreciated that. But a lot of times he kind of spouts off and I just don't pay attention to it.
But the thing about Stephen A. Smith, whether you like him or not, to me, he comes across as authentic.
That's a good way to say it.
Regardless of whether you like his opinion regarding sports or news, the thing that is effective about Stephen A is that he is authentic on camera. He is telling you exactly what he thinks, why he thinks it, whether he's right or wrong, that's up to you to decide. But there's no phoniness about him, and that's what I like. And when it comes to the LeBron James scenario, I was a little disappointed in LeBron James because, look, you brought your son on to play basketball on the Lakers. He is now a public figure. Whether you like it or not, whether he's good enough or not, he is now in the public eye, and he can get criticism. Now, LeBron will argue he was taking shots at my son's personal life. I don't know exactly what was said, but when you are a professional sports star,
That's a very good point.
your personal life is also out there for criticism.
You mentioned just earlier about the kid influencers and stuff. This is basically an influencer. He made his son, he's influencing his son and brought him out in the spotlight.
Yes, and I think
and his son's an adult too.
Right, and so what sort of responsibility does LeBron James have when it comes to his son, which he brought onto the Lakers? Which, let's face it, if he was not LeBron James's son, I doubt he would have received a spot on the Lakers bench.
I think everybody would say that.
Yes.
Same thing. Agree with you. That sort of thing. But that would put if me being LeBron's son, a lot of pressure on you. You have to do something well.
Yes.
And so, and then being a dad, I also, if somebody said something about my kid, I would say, hey, look, man. So I understand it's in a weird situation.
Yes.
However, he put himself in that.
Exactly.
So he has to be able to take it if he's going to be able to put himself in that situation.
I think Stephen A. Smith, with regard to a political run, I don't think it'll ever happen because I don't see him walking away from a $100 million paycheck. But I think he does bring light to the fact that there is a need for someone in the Democratic Party to step forward and maybe show some true authenticity to gain some traction. And he has more common sense than most of the people in his party.
He's well spoken for sure. And I appreciate what he says. I might not agree with it. So we have more Flash.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. Two estranged siblings join forces to embark on an epic adventure quest. This is today's must-watch movie, Fountain of Youth.
Charlotte, how have you been?
Well, that might take a while. We haven't spoken in a year.
Just thought a brother would want to see his sister.
Are you in trouble?
Now, why would you say that?
You only call when you're in trouble.
That's not true. There's a power beyond any of our comprehension. One story. 5 continents. Dozens of cultures over thousands of years.
And which genius will explain to me why I'm here?
Keep the cat in the bag until I release it. Yeah? Great.
We're looking for the Fountain of Youth.
Oh, please, no.
What did I just say about the cat in the bag?
Cat wasn't happy in the bag.
It's here. I can feel it.
There's a reason the fountain was hidden. He can't succeed.
So you really think you're gonna find a magic pool of water at the end of this?
I don't know. But I think you want to find out.
Oh, wow, that looks good.
Okay, I'm ready for it. Little Indiana Jones kind of feel to it, but a
Meets
family.
Da Vinci Code.
Meets Brady Bunch. I don't
Brady
know.
Bunch, yeah. What was National Treasure?
And the Goonies.
Oh, Goonies. Did you hear they're remaking the Goonies? They've finally said that they're going to do it.
Like with new kids and everything, or them growing up? I would love to see them all grown up.
Yeah.
Because,
Wouldn't that be
what's
great?
his name? I'm going to say.
Corey Feldman.
But Slingshot. He's an Academy Award winner now.
Oh,
he was in it. You know,
yes, I know.
Everything all of a sudden, all at once.
James Brolin.
You know
Josh
who
Brolin.
That too. Well, see y'all tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay.